Astro Kids, and welcome back. This is your horoscope for the Pluto Saturn conjunction that we will have on January 12th, 2020 at 11:59 a.m. if you are on the East Coast. So, starting off, this is an energy that we are already in. This is building. We've been in this Pluto and Saturn Capricorn energy for a while now, and it's been building up to this big conjunction that is a major conjunction, this intensity. And so the most intense part of this is actually what we are in currently as it's building up to this moment. And the Pluto in Capricorn is something that we have been in since January of 2008. And so a lot of these deeper transformations that you were going through, a lot of these more intense moments of this Pluto in Capricorn, trying to transform you through sort of breaking down these old belief systems, these old systems in place, and moving you into something that is higher, something that better serves you. You want to really think back to this moment of January 2008, building up to this period of what have you gone through, what have you been through leading up to this moment, what have been the signs from the universe to let you know what work that you needed to do leading up to this moment. And Saturn, as it is a much quicker planet, has been in Capricorn since December of 2017. So this energy definitely very strong here. Saturn is at home in Capricorn. But with this South Node energy in there as well, and Jupiter in there, and the Sun in there, there is something big about how this is a major Capricorn lesson of what work do you need to do to put in place to get to your highest level, of what steps do you need to take, right? Capricorn is very systematic, very much driven to achieving goals in your life. So this is a big moment that we are leading up to, and of course we have already seen Jupiter move in here into Capricorn with this brand new story, this big picture, this big vision of how we can open doorways, how we can achieve big opportunities and moments in our life is through Capricorn, through this work, through this commitment, through this effort, this time that we put in. So this is a big time that we are leading up to moving into 2020, where the story is really about the effort and the time and the work and the discipline that you put into it in order to get those results. And this is something big that we've talked about throughout the year. I probably sound like a broken record talking about the work and the time and the effort that you need to put in and leaving behind these old things that no longer serve you to step into this higher, greater place for your life, for your destiny. But this is big as we're leading up to this moment. And with Jupiter, the Sun, Saturn, Pluto, and Mercury in Capricorn, this is a huge stellium. And it is all in opposition to this moon in Leo, which there is something internal about going in and dealing with the true expression, the true authentic nature of who you are, as Leo is connected to the heart space of that full, pure expression of who you are. And with this big buildup, Jupiter is also in opposition over to this North Node in Cancer, where the journey, the vision, the story is making this aspect to our point of destiny, to where we are headed. And so this is a big buildup with this Saturn-Pluto conjunction. We've never seen this before. It is a very intense buildup that is all about breaking down these old systems and structures in our life, moving into this new space. And this is big. We've never seen this much Capricorn before. where Capricorn is about climbing that mountain to your success, to your achievements, but it's about the work and the effort that you put in. As Capricorn is the top of the sky, but it is a very tough, very serious sign where you have to push through the challenges to get the results. And we see Uranus in Taurus still coming into play with this whole story of breaking down these old systems and beliefs. Uranus now out of retrograde, where Uranus is in its fall position still in Taurus, where Uranus wants to liberate us, it wants to take us to a higher level. But Taurus is here to remind us of the physical structures in our life, of the physical reality, of the beauty of all of the values and the worth that is in this physical plane. And it's interesting because a lot of people in the spiritual community are talking about everything that is spiritual, everything that is beyond this physical plane. But with all of this Capricorn energy and with this Uranus in Taurus, which Uranus is the collective, it is our spiritual evolution, our growth, and it's taking us to a higher level. But it's here in an earth sign where it is practical, it's down to earth, it is in this physical reality. And so it's a big reminder that we do need to focus on what is going on in our physical reality and not drift off too far into what is spiritual, into what is far away from this physical reality, as Neptune is still in Pisces, spinning us into this dream, into this spirituality that is far out from what is going on this physical plane. And you see that even this Neptune in Pisces is making aspects to the moon in Leo, where Leo and Pisces are in an in conjunction. So Leo and Pisces sharing a lot of this sort of dreamy, creative type of energy, but expressing it very differently. These two tend to not understand each other so well. So Leo is trying to bring us back into what is authentic, into what is true, right? The moon is there, so it is dealing with our thoughts, it is dealing with our emotional nature, and bringing us back to that core of fully expressing ourselves authentically. And Mars is playing a big role here, where Mars is in Sagittarius, making these aspects over to Uranus in Taurus, as well as this North Node in Cancer. So Mars in Sag is a very different energy. Right now we are currently in Mars in Scorpio, but of course it's going to move ahead into Sag, where Sag is bringing in this optimism, this faith, this belief, this higher understanding. And Mars is there saying that that's what we need to go for. That's what we need to seek out and push for, as Mars is the passion and the drive and the focus, that this mission is becoming something that is higher, something that is on a much higher spiritual level for us, but not in this Piscean dream illusion state, but actually seeking out the faith, the belief, the higher understanding, the higher knowledge, the higher wisdom, through actually seeking out what is of value to us. Because Venus is in Aquarius, where Aquarius is trying to elevate us and take us to a higher level. But with Venus here, it is about experimenting and trying out new things and stepping into this new and different energy. And we will see in the spring of 2020 that the North Node will move into Gemini, where again a lot of this is what is the new path, what is the new experience, what new information are you willing to take on. And Venus in Aquarius is really this upgrade of our values, of our beliefs, connected a lot to this Uranus and Taurus, right? They are in mutual reception. So Venus would rather be in Taurus, where Uranus would rather be in Aquarius. But they are functioning on this level where they are bringing us into this higher reality, this higher frequency. But again, there is this big reminder of our physical reality and what ties us and connects us to this physical plane, and not trying to drift off too far into this sort of dream state, this illusion that Pisces is spinning with this Neptune in Pisces. And so there's a big reminder here with all of this going on that you want to make sure that you are tied and connected to your physical reality, that this is a big story about how this is a number 22 year of building and creating your destiny. And it's all about, with this year of the rat, what effort, what time are you willing to put in? And remember that this is essentially the point of this major conjunction. It's not the most intense moment. The intense moment is actually the build-up. It's actually building up to this moment that is actually the most intense. So it's not this point. This point is the destination. It is where we are headed spiritually, energetically. This is this major transit that we are headed to. But again, we are in the intensity. We're in the buildup of this energy. And so as we're headed towards this solar eclipse in Capricorn that we will see on Christmas Day if you're on the West Coast, but it will be the day after Christmas if you were anywhere else in the US. But this is essentially the starting point of all of this, is this solar eclipse. And so right now is the time when we should be working with this energy, building up to this moment, because this is the big buildup after the intensity, after the climax, getting to this point, this end point, where this energy is fully built up, this major Capricorn stellium, where we're seeing 5 major planetary bodies here. That, are you willing to put the time, the effort, the work, the discipline? Are you willing to reach for the top, for your goals in life, for your achievements? Or are you going to go backwards? Because again, we talked a lot about this Capricorn energy, where if you are not willing to put the time and the effort into this next journey that you are moving into what you love, into what you are passionate about, that actually you're moving backwards. Because a lot of this story is about, what are you passionate about? What are you in love with? What are you finding value and worth in this story? Because remember that Chiron is also in Aries, where Chiron is reminding us as the wounded healer that, okay, we need to find the areas that are attached to identity that actually don't serve us, that actually don't fit in with this whole story of who we are and what is of value to us. So with Chiron and Aries, you want to find that true identity. You want to find out who you truly are and let go of the ego, let go of the attachments to identity, to the stories that we attach to who we are. Because this is a big moment with Chiron and Aries, with the moon in Leo and with Mars in Sagittarius, that there's fire here supporting this. There's passion, that this is something that if you love, if you're passionate about it, if it brings you joy and happiness into your life, that is a big sign that this serves you, that it serves the story, that it serves this chapter in your life, this major chapter of this intense moment of really needing to step up and own your values and your worth, and really needing to push and move into who you are and into your best life. That this is the moment where you take the top, that you cross the finish line, and that's all decided by what are you willing to do, what are you willing to accomplish, what time and work and effort are you willing to do. And so this is big with Mars making this aspect over to Cancer, this Cancer North Node, and also making this aspect over to Uranus in Taurus. That, okay, this destiny point and this reconstruction of our values, of our worth, and of this higher divine calling are all in sync with this whole story of where we are headed. And this big Leo moon energy making all these aspects to this Capricorn buildup. And look how tight these planetary bodies are connected into this whole space of Capricorn. That we have Jupiter, the Sun, the South Node, Saturn, Pluto, and Mercury all tightly bound into this tight space in Capricorn, this major stellium, where are you willing to put the work in, to put the time in, to put the effort in, to climb up to the top, to get to your success, your achievements, to be the greatest version of who you are? Or are you going to do the lower frequency of Capricorn and actually just go back into old structures, old systems, and tie yourself down to these old traditions that actually don't hold value, that actually don't hold worth, and that actually don't serve you in your life, in this whole big chapter that you are moving into in your life? So this is huge. So again, you want to go back to, okay, what was I doing in 2008? What was I doing at the start of this buildup in 2008? And what was happening in 2017 with these stories of what actually serves me and what doesn't, and the changes that I've been through? That actually this whole Pluto story throughout this whole time from 2008 up to now has been this major story of this transformation and this evolution and this growth that you've went through. So you want to take that moment and you want to take all of these events that you've been through to say, okay, this is time where I've been through all of these events and all of these things in my life, that now it's actually the time to choose to step up, to move forward, because this is destiny opening up a major doorway for you. There's a lot of positive aspects going on here, but this is very intense. This is very tight with all this Capricorn buildup, and with this major Jupiter opposition to the North Node in Cancer, that actually Jupiter would rather be in Cancer, but it's back in Capricorn, still making this aspect over to this North Node in Cancer. So there's a major calling here of destiny, and it all depends on this story that you're spinning, because with this major opposition, there's a lot of people actually spinning stories and beliefs and visions that don't actually sync up with who they are. Remember that we said that this North Node in Cancer is about true connection, true divine connection to what serves you, to who you are. This true divine emotional connection, moving into home, moving into this home space of what is home in your heart, of what holds the true value, the true connection, what truly fulfills you, versus just doing things for the sake of doing them. And so this is a big moment. But the biggest moment actually is the lead up to this, of what choices are you going to make leading up to this big moment? Because that is actually the rising action of the story, is what you're doing leading up to this big moment. Because that will decide how this whole thing will go. And this is a major transformation. This is a major stepping into authority moment. And Mercury is there giving you the information, the facts, the data. The Sun is there. It's where our consciousness is. It is how we are behaving. And Jupiter is there opening up this big story, this big vision, that you want to be careful with this opposition to the North Node, because actually Is this story, is this vision that you have for yourself in sync with who you truly are and what truly fulfills you? What is a true destined connection to who you are? So for a lot of you, a lot of connections, a lot of beliefs, a lot of old values and systems need to be left behind as you're moving on to this story, because you want to make sure that this story actually is in sync with who you are. Otherwise, you are entering a story of doing what you've been doing for the last 11 years. So this is a big moment, and it's a big time of realizing, okay, time is running out. We need to make the changes, we need to do the work, and we need to make sure that we are actually moving into this space of being the best version of ourselves and living the best lives that we can live. And it is a big realization that the physical is important too. What we are doing on this physical plane, the reality that we're in, the harshness, the challenges of what are going on with this big Capricorn stellium and this Uranus and Taurus, that actually we're dealing with a ton of fire and earth, that there's a lot of reality that we have to face, and there's a lot of needing to come into sync with what we're passionate about, what we love, what brings us joy. And it's interesting because a lot of people will say that this is selfish, that it's selfish to put your needs first, that it's selfish to love yourself, that it's selfish to reach for these values and these goals. But actually, this is so in sync with your destiny of where you're headed in this moment. So remember the physical needs. Remember that, yes, you need money. Yes, you need to face the challenges in your life. Yes, you need to go to work. Yes, you need to put the time and the effort in. Remember those things. And remember that you want to do what you love. You want to do what you're passionate about and not do what others say or do what is the opposite of what actually serves you in your life. So this is a big moment. 2020 is a huge year, and this is one of the biggest moments that sort of kickstarts it off. So you want to make sure that moving into 2020 that you are in sync with who you are and what is of the highest value to you. So you want to close out major chapters. And I talked earlier in the horoscope this morning that actually the New Year's resolutions and the goals and everything that you want to bring into your life should actually be in the process of you deciding that now and not waiting. Because once we move into this solar eclipse on Christmas, the time is up. We're already in the new story, the new chapter of 2020. And so our days, our time is kind of limited moving into this new space, that we're actually not going to move into this new space on January 1st. We're moving into it before then. So now is the time to decide. Now is the time to do the work to figure out what the game plan is, because this is it. So that was your horoscope for this Saturn Pluto conjunction on January 12th, 2020. I hope you all enjoyed this. If you liked this video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, as well as hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any new content. And I will see you all in the next video.